Welcome back to another episode of My Book of Mormon. This is episode 28, I believe. Yeah, that sounds right. Anyway, back at it. And so one thing I remembered from last week, I recorded a episode with the Scathing Atheist, No Allusion to the Scathing Atheist. It was episode 74, so I actually recorded that with him before I went on vacation, and so I never got a chance to tell you guys about it. So that happened. So check out episode 74. It was really fun. It was he had me on, Thomas from Thomas in the Bible, and then Paul from Chronify Me, and we had a contest to see who had the worst holy book. I'm afraid our book did not win. No, the Bible ended up winning, and it was the original. So I wasn't too upset about it. Thomas does a good job with his show, so it was all right. Okay, so not a whole lot more to say. As I said before, we hit our Patreon goal, so thanks to all of our patrons. You guys are awesome. And to those of you that aren't patrons, just tip your hats to those that are, because they are helping to make sure that this show continues. So that you guys are awesome. So to all the other MIMOs who have rated on iTunes and sent me emails of encouragement or posted links to the show to help get the word out on all your forums, thank you. And we're just going to move right into this. Yeah, that's right. I don't have to ask you for stuff anymore. So I'm just diving right in. Back to Mosiah. So one thing I do want to say, Mosiah there's a lot of yays and it came to pass. There's no way to avoid that. So, and everyone still continues to send me emails saying how much they love the drinking game. So we're going to keep doing it. But if you're playing along, you may be an alcoholic by the time we're done Mosiah, because it seems like every other verse there's another drink opportunity. But all right, and with that being said, with that disclaimer, if you're playing along with the drinking game, you better have several in front of you, because Mosiah is rough. Although as soon as I say that, watch, the next few chapters have no drinks in them. But somehow I doubt that. Okay, here we go. In chapter 22 of Mosiah. And now it came to pass, there you go, right off the bat, drink, that Ammon, I keep saying it wrong, Ammon, I will get that name right without having to stop, but okay, Ammon and King Limhi began to consult with the people how they should deliver themselves out of bondage, and even they did cause that all the people should gather themselves together, and this they did that they might have the voice of the people concerning the matter. So, this sounds exactly what it sounds like. So if you remember, in our last reading, our flashback finally caught up to real time. It's not really real time, but either way. So our two stories came together. So now we have Ammon, and he is partnering up with King Limhi, and they're saying, out of bondage. Yeah, I guess they were slaves. So they're slaves to the Lamanites, and they're going to figure out how to get out of this mess. And it came to pass, drink, that they could find no way to deliver themselves out of bondage. Well, all that brainstorming for nothing, it seems. Except it were to take their women and children, and their flocks, and their herds, and their tents, and depart into the wilderness. Of course. Escape, that's the answer. For the Lamanites being so numerous, it was impossible for the people of Limhi to contend with them, thinking to deliver themselves out of bondage by the sword. So that's not happening. And if you remember in the last episode, the Nephites kept charging the hill. They kept, trying to take out the Lamanites, and they were just killed off every time. So there's just not enough Nephites left. They're, all dead, so they can't really fight anymore. So their answer is, let's escape. All right. Now it came to pass, drink, that Gideon went forth and stood before the king. And he said unto him, Now, O king, thou hast hitherto hearkened. Who talks that way? Thou hast hitherto hearkened. Let's see what this has to say. Unto my words many times when we have been contending with our brethren, the Lamanites. And now, O king, if thou hast not found me to be an unprofitable servant. Oh man, double negative there. Hold on. If thou hast not found me to be an unprofitable servant. So I guess that means if you found me to be profitable. I don't know why the double negative. Or if thou hast hitherto listened to my words in any degree, and they have been of service to thee, even so I desire that thou wouldest listen to my words at this time, and I would be thy servant and deliver this people out of bondage. All right, so Ammon is talking a big talk. He's like, you know what, king? You want to escape? But hey, have I ever let you down before? We just met, but, in that short time, have I ever let you down? No? Well, then just leave it to me, and I'll get us out of bondage. That's what he's saying. And the king granted unto him that he might speak. Oh, man, all that build up, just to let the man speak. All right, and Gideon said unto him. Oh, I'm sorry, that was Gideon. I thought it was Ammon talking. Sorry about that, everybody. Yeah, that was Gideon talking. So remember, what is it now? Captain Gideon. I forgot to use his title. He's captain of the guard. All right, so he's the one talking. And he said unto him, Behold the back pass through the back wall on the back side of the city. Go back 3 times, you'll find it. The Lamanites, or the guards of the Lamanites, by night are drunken. Therefore, let us send a proclamation among all this people, that they gather together their flocks and their herds, that they might drive them into the wilderness by night. So Gideon's saying, yeah, let's just get the heck out of here. I thought Gideon was like, hey, have I ever let you down before? I'm like, no, I haven't. All right, let me go kill these Lamanites. But no. He's like, yeah, have I ever let you down before? He's like, no. Okay, this is the best way to run away. Great. Brave Gideon. And I will go according to thy command, and pay the last tribute of wine to the Lamanites, and they will be drunken, and we will pass through the secret pass on the left of their camp when they are drunken and asleep. So there you go, get them good and liquored up, and then you can escape. Seems easy enough. Thus although I gotta say, if the Nephites just ask the Lamanites, hey, can we just leave? Can we just leave? They might just be like, do you promise to never come back? That would probably be the Lamanite response to that. Just promise to never return. And yeah, you guys can go. I don't think they need all this sneakery. All right. Thus we will depart with our women and our children, our flocks and our herds into the wilderness, and we will travel around the land of Shalom. I think Shalom, if I remember right, is a Lamanite town. It doesn't matter. I lost track of the cities long ago. And it came to pass, drink, that the king hearkened unto the words of Gideon. All right, good for you, Gideon. Sounds like the king is listening to your escape plan. And King Limhi caused that his people should gather their flocks together. And he sent the tribute of wine to the Lamanites, and he also sent more wine as a present unto them. And they should already think something's fishy. Yeah. They're getting more wine. They're getting a little tip on the tax. That's just that to me. I'd be like, no, wait a minute. What's all this? All right. And they did drink freely of the wine which King Limhi did send unto them. So they didn't ask questions. They said, hey, more wine. All right, let's drink this. And it came to pass, drink. Speaking of drinking, there you go. And that the people of King Limhi did depart by night into the wilderness with their flocks and their herds, and they went round about the land of Shalom in the wilderness, and bent their course towards the land of Zarahemlas, being led by Ammon and his brethren. There you go. So they have successfully escaped the city of Nephi. I think that's where they were. Anyway. And they had taken all their gold and silver and their precious things which they could carry, and also their provisions with them, into the wilderness, and they pursued their journey. Well, as long as they got the plates. I'm sure they had plates. That's always seems to be the most important thing to grab. All right, and after being many days in the wilderness, they arrived in the land of Zarahemlas. Really? Oh, I guess they knew how to get there, which is strange, because every other time they've gone in the wilderness, years would go by before they'd find their way. All right, and they joined Mosiah's people and became his subjects. So yeah, not enough to just say like, hey, Mosiah, can we join forces with you? No, you had to become his subjects. So they had to come in and be like, okay, you're our king now. Our king's, so I guess King, what's his name? Limhi? I guess he's done. Yeah, because now they're Mosiah's subjects. Can't have 2 kings. That would just be, can't have it. All right, and it came to pass, drink, and that Mosiah received them with joy. And he also received their records. Told you they had plates. Told you. And also the records which had been found by the people of Limhi. Oh, yeah, the ones from the lost city or whatever. Yeah. The, what were they called? The plates of ore. Yes, he has the plates of ore. And now it came to pass, drink yet again, when the Lamanites had found that the people of Limhi had departed out of the land by night, they sent an army into the wilderness to pursue them. I was wrong. Lamanites did not want them to leave. They want to pursue them. And after they had pursued them 2 days, they could no longer follow their tracks. Therefore, they were lost in the wilderness. See, there you go. Told you. You got lost. I really don't understand how the Limhi people managed to find their way through the wilderness. And the Lamanites went out there 2 days later. They're like, well, we're lost. I guess we live here now. All right. So that was chapter 22. That was a quick one. All right. Let's see chapter 23. Now, Alma, having been... Alma. I haven't heard from him in a while. Oh, yeah. He was the guy that started the cult church and then ran out of the city. So he's been out in the wilderness for a while, I think. I suppose that's true. Anyway, let's see. Unless, oh dear God, are we flashing back again? We're going, well, we'll see. All right, now, let me just read. I'll stop speculating. Now Alma, having been warned of the Lord that the armies of King Noah would come upon them, and having made it known to his people, therefore they gathered together their flocks and took of their grain and departed into the wilderness before the armies of King Noah. Oh, looks like another flashback, guys, because King Noah is long dead. Yeah. In chapter 22... King Noah was not around, And now we have chapter 23, and suddenly the army of King Noah. So it looks like we're flashing back again. All right, so it's not that long ago, right? Because Alma, remember he was the guy that hid in the bushes and baptized people, and he had the pyramid scheme. That guy. He ran off into the wilderness. Didn't seem like just before Noah died, I think. Anyway, all right. It's clearly a flashback. We'll just go with that. And the Lord did strengthen them. I assume them meaning the people of Alma, the cult followers. Okay, that the people of King Noah could not overtake them to destroy them. All right, so they got away. And they fled 8 days' journey into the wilderness. 8 days. Oof. Lamanites were like lost after 2. So you guys are doomed if you're out there 8 days. And they came to a land, yea, drink, and even a very beautiful and pleasant land, a land of pure water. Okay, pure water. And they pitched their tents and began to till the ground, and began to build buildings, yea, drink. They were industrious, and did labor exceedingly. So this Alma Cult, they're not messing around. As soon as they found some fresh water, they're like, this is it, our new home. There you go. And the people were desirous that Alma should be their king, for he was beloved by his people. There you go. King Alma has a nice ring to it. But he said unto them, behold, it is not expedient that we should have a king, for thus saith the Lord, ye shall not esteem one flesh above another. Ah, yes, I forgot. Alma is a pure socialist. He is absolutely a socialist. So the thought of king would be important to him, I would think. Okay, or one man shall not think himself above another, therefore I say unto you, it is not expedient that ye should have a king. There you go. Maybe a proletariat, but certainly not a king. Nevertheless, if it were possible that ye could always have just men to be your kings, it would be well for you to have a king. Well, Alma, you can't change your mind from one sentence to the next. That's all right. So he's saying if there's any possible way to know that you always have a good king, then you should have a king. I get. Which is interesting because what is he? Is he implying that he would not be a good king? It kind of sounds that way because he's like, if you knew that you would have a just king, you should have a king. And like, well, can you be our king? He's like, no, bad idea. I guess he knows he's unjust. All right, but remember the iniquity of King Noah and his priests, and I myself was caught in a snare. Whoa, yes, that's right. So, Alma was one of those like greedy priests that King Noah had. And but he broke away from him because he heard Abinadi talking and said, that's for me. So yeah, but I guess he still has a little guilt that he was once part of King Noah's priesthood. All right, so he's caught in a snare and did many things which were abominable in the sight of the Lord, which caused me sore repentance. There you go. He was probably following King Noah's example and having lots of carnal knowledge with the ladies and drinking all that wine, which is abominable in the sight of the Lord, apparently. Nevertheless, after much tribulation, the Lord did hear my cries, and did answer my prayers, and has made me an instrument in his hands in bringing so many of you to a knowledge of his truth. Nevertheless, in this I do not for glory, for I am unworthy to glory of myself. All right, so he's basically saying, I did this for God, not for praise from you. Because quite frankly, I was a crap person before, and I really don't deserve your praise. I can't wash off that sin. That's some deep sin. All right. And now I say unto you, ye have been oppressed by King Noah, and have been in bondage to him and his priests, and have been brought into iniquity by them. Therefore ye were bound with the bands of iniquity. So they were all sinful because they were, under King Noah, I guess. But didn't they get baptized? Didn't that? Anyway, let's see. And now as ye have been delivered by the power of God out of these bonds, yea, drink, even out of the hands of King Noah and his people, and also from the bonds of iniquity, even so I desire that ye should stand fast in this liberty, wherefore ye have been made free, and that ye trust no man to be king over you. So he is going back and forth on whether or not they should have a king. He went from no, absolutely not, to, well, maybe if they were just, and now he's like, no, you don't want any of that. So, I guess we're back to no king. And also trust no one to be your teacher, nor your minister, except he be a man of God. Well, do we have some sort of way of knowing if he be a man of God? It's like, trust no one to teach you or be your minister. It's like, okay, got it. We're not going to trust anybody. Well, unless he's a man of God. Well, okay, so someone stands up and says, I'm a man of God. It's like, please teach us. All right. Walking in his ways and keeping his commandments. Oh, that's how you know. If he walks in the way of God. Well, so far, if we're using God as an example, then you could be pretty awful person and still be walking in his ways. Oh. And keeping his commandments would probably be a better idea. Although if we're talking about the commandments in the Old Testament, that would also be pretty awful. Yeah, there's no way. Whoever this person that's walking in the ways of God and keeping his commandments, if they're doing that literally, they would be a horrible person. And if they lived today, they would be, in prison for the rest of their life at best. All right. Thus did Alma teach his people that every man should love his neighbor as himself, and that there should be no contention among them. It's interesting because the whole concept of love thy neighbor as thyself, that was not an Old Testament concept. That came about with Jesus, right? He was kind of the Sermon on the Mount speech there. But Alma's talking about it, saying, like, keep the commandments, which would not have included this. So it's weird that Alma's kind of, I don't know, creating his own commandments. So it's difficult because he hasn't outright. I mean, this is the first kind of commandment I've heard Alma say, I think. Well, no, because before he was like, everybody has to, like, no one has possessions, we all share, and all that socialist crap. Yeah, sounds like, he's just continuing with that new commandments that he somehow has. All right, and now Alma was their high priest, he being the founder of their church. Indeed, I guess they're calling it a church because they're in it. No one says that I'm in a cult if they're in a cult. They say they're in a church, but outsiders looking, they're like, yeah, kind of culty dude. Anyway. And it came to pass, drink, that none received authority to preach or to teach, except it were by him from God. I would love a description of how everyone knew that God gave certain people permission and others not. I don't. Did they glow? Did they have wings sprout out from their back? I mean, how does one know? Man. Therefore, he consecrated all their priests and all their teachers, and none were consecrated except they were just men. So first they had to be, received from God or something, and now they have to be just. So I don't know which one's true. Therefore they did watch over their people, and did nourish them with things pertaining to righteousness. And it came to pass, drink, that they began to prosper exceedingly in the land, and they called the land Helam. Okay. Why do I feel like I've heard that before? Helam. Came up a few episodes ago. I don't remember in what context. No. And it came to pass, drink again, that they did multiply and prosper exceedingly in the land of Helam, and they built a city, which they called the city of Helam. Man, these guys are creative with their naming, aren't they? Nevertheless, the Lord seeth fit to chasten his people. Yea, drink, he trieth their patience and their faith. Why on earth? Why would I guess this is God we're talking about. We already know he's a dick. So yeah, he's everything's going well. He had this really holy group of people. They all got baptized at the threat of death, right? They escaped barely with their lives. They wandered through the wilderness. They created a new land just to honor God. And what is God's response? Yeah, he's going to try their patience and their faith. He's just going to mess with them a little. What a guy. Yeah, I got to love this God. All right. Nevertheless, whosoever putteth his trust in him, the same shall be lifted up at the last day. Yea, drink. And thus it was with this people. I guess it's like God's really going to mess with them, with their patience and their faith. But as long as your faith doesn't, waver when God's like clearly messing with your life, what a guy, then he'll remember that. Like, man, I really screwed him over, and he still said he loved me. So, he's got to come into heaven. What a guy. For behold, I will show unto you that they were brought into bondage, and none could deliver them but the Lord their God. Yea, drink, even the God of Abraham and Isaac and of Jacob. Were they delivered out of bondage? It didn't seem like they got liberated. They just escaped and didn't get caught, pretty much. All right. And it came to pass, drink, that he did deliver them. Deliver? Again, that seems a stretch. Anyway, and he did show forth his mighty power unto them, and great were their rejoicings. What mighty power? A bunch of people left in the middle of the night and weren't caught leaving. How is that a mighty power of God? I mean, at least tell us like a fake story, the Red Sea parted and you walk through. I mean, something. But no, people just like, okay, we're leaving now. Mighty power. Amazing. Okay, for behold, it came to pass, drink, that while they were in the land of Helam, yea, drink again, in the city of Helam, while tilling the land round about, behold, an army of the Lamanites was in the borders of the land. Well, that didn't take long. Guess the Lamanites they didn't stop pursuing the Ammon cult. It doesn't make sense why the Lamanites would care. It doesn't follow the description we know about them so far, but anyway. Now it came to pass, drink, that the brethren of Alma fled from their fields, and gathered themselves together in the city of Helam, and they were much frightened. They were much frightened. Woo-hoo. Because of the appearances of the Lamanites. What were they like? Did they have like, I don't know, bones on their heads? Like what was so scary about their appearance? Or maybe they were just afraid because they were there. That makes more sense. Okay, sorry. I thought they were saying like their appearance. Whatever. I was wrong. Okay. But Alma went forth and stood among them and exhorted them that they should not be frightened, but that they should remember the Lord their God, and he would deliver them. Therefore they hushed their fears and began to cry unto the Lord that he would soften the hearts of the Lamanites, and they would spare them and their wives and their children. All right. So their plan, an army standing outside the city, again, you could just like go out and talk to them. It's like, what's up, guys? Something wrong? No. They decide we should just pray. Just pray. All right, so let's see. And it came to pass, drink. Good Lord. Sorry, guys. I told you. I warned you about this book. There's a lot of drinking in all these Mosiah episodes. Okay, came to pass, drink, that the Lord did soften the hearts of the Lamanites. Oh, I guess the praying worked. And Alma and his brethren went forth and delivered themselves up into their hands, and the Lamanites took possessions of the land of Helam. Well, it didn't work that well. So they're like, God help us. And God's like, well, if you just go surrender, they're going to take everything you have, but they won't kill you. That's the kind of guy I am. Now the armies of the Lamanites, which had followed after the people of King Limhi, had been lost in the wilderness for many days. Okay, and behold, they had found those priests of King Noah. Oh, they found them in a place they called Amulon. All right, and they had begun to possess the land of Amulon and had begun to till the ground. The army did? I guess the Lamanite army, they got lost, remember? They just got lost in the wilderness. So they found this Amulon place, and they're like, might as well call it home. Let's do it, I think. And now the name of the leader of those priests, oh, darn it, I was wrong. I had to take a guess. They threw a they in there without telling me. I guessed it was the army. Turns out the priests were the ones that decided to call Amulon home. There you go. The name of the leader of the priests was Amulon. Oh, so creative. Anyway, and it came to pass, drink, that Amulon did plead with the Lamanites. And he also sent forth their wives, who were the daughters of the Lamanites. Oh, to plead with their brethren that they should not destroy their husbands. So, remember those young, beautiful women that were just dancing, the Lamanites, and the priest just like snuck out of the woods and abducted them, right? They just dragged them away. So now it turns out that they've married them, and somehow these women have no hard feelings. So no, they're pleading for the lives of their husbands / kidnappers / I would assume rapists. I mean, did these women just like, oh, you've abducted us? I'm so happy to hear that. Yes, I'll absolutely be your wife. It doesn't sound like that would add up. All right, so somehow they've given them the old Stockholm syndrome, and they're trying to help their husbands. And the Lamanites had compassion on Amulon and his brethren, and they did not destroy them because of their wives. Yeah, that makes no sense to me. I mean, seriously, you're a Lamanite, you come in and you're like, oh my God, there's the women that were abducted when they were young. Women are like, please don't hurt our husbands. It's like, you know what? Listen, they kidnapped you, so stand back. They have to die. No, I'm sure when this army gets back to the Laman camp city, and they're like, did you find the priest? They're like, yeah, we did. And it's like, oh, did you just cut him to pieces? Nah, we let him go. Yeah. And there's going to be like fellow armymen. It's like, that was my daughter that was kidnapped. What do you mean you let him go? It's like, well, her kidnapper / rapist, she seemed to like him now. So, we didn't interfere with the marriage. We let him go. Genius. All right. And Amulon and his brethren did join the Lamanites, and they were traveling in the wilderness in the search of the land of Nephi when they discovered the land of Helam, which was possessed by Alma and his brethren. So not only did these King Noah priests kidnap a bunch of young women, force them into the marriage with them, then they convinced these Lamanites that they shouldn't kill them, despite their obvious crime. Now they've actually joined forces. So now the Lamanites are like, well, since you got these wives that are ours, I guess that makes us related. So, okay, join our army. And the priests are like, hey, let's do this. So, okay, so now the Lamanite / King Noah priest army, all right, they have now discovered Alma's cult in the land of, what was it called? Land of Helam. That's right. Land of Helam. Okay. And it came to pass, drink, that the Lamanites promised unto Alma and his brethren, that if they would show them the way which led to the land of Nephi, that they would grant unto them their lives and their liberty. So they're basically like, look, we really don't care about your cult anymore. We just want to get home. That's really what this boils down to. But after Alma had shown them the way that led to the land of Nephi, the Lamanites would not keep their promise. Okay. So the Lamanites like, hey, swear to God, tell us how to get back home, and we're just going to leave you. And they're like, it's that way. And they're like, suckers. We didn't mean that. You're going down now. All right, so they didn't keep their word, but they sent guards round about the land of Helam over Alma and his brethren. Well, they're just guarding him. They probably just want to kind of make sure this cult doesn't spread anymore. Well, we'll see. And the remainder of them went to the land of Nephi, and a part of them returned to the land of Helam, and also brought with them the wives and the children of the guards who had been left in the land. So I guess now poor Alma now has to live with these like evil priests from King Noah's day. Oof, I don't think he's going to like that. And the king of the Lamanites had granted unto Ammon that he should be a king and a ruler over his people. Good heavens. What? I don't understand what this Ammon priest guy did. Why? Like, all he did was convince these girls that he kidnapped that they should love him or something. Now the king of the Lamanites is like, oh, you should be king. Oh my God, you think he'd be kind of pissed that he abducted his, little girls from his kingdom, but all's forgiven, it seems. All right. So King Ammon should be king and a ruler over his people who were in the land of Helam. Nevertheless, he should have no power to do anything contrary to the will of the king of the Lamanites. So he's kind of like a, puppet king. Boy, I didn't see that coming. I gotta say, out of all the characters in this book, the only one so far that I think absolutely deserved Lamanite retribution, it was King Noah's priests. Right? Like, no one else really necessarily did anything that bad. Like, even Nephi, way back when, and Laman wanted to kill him. Yeah, Nephi was annoying. Don't get me wrong. I would have driven me nuts. But to want to kill him, I don't know. But these guys, like, actually kidnapped little girls and forced them into marriage. And somehow they're like the only people that the Lamanites don't want to kill. Strange. Very strange. All right, that was 23, so we're moving on to chapter 24. I'll tell you, does Mosiah ever end this chapter? I feel like we've been reading Mosiah forever. Anyway, we're going to just keep going until this thing's done. Quite a bit's happened in Mosiah, though. It's been an action-packed book, hasn't it? Anyway, let's see what else happens. All right, and it came to pass, drink, that Ammon did gain favor in the eyes of the king of the Lamanites. Therefore the king of the Lamanites granted unto him and his brethren that they should be appointed teachers over his people. Yea, drink, even over the people who were in the land of Shemlon, and in the land of Shalom, and in the land of Ammon. I'll tell you, who knew? To be the favorite of the king of the Lamanites, all you have to do is steal some women. Yeah, that's... I'm sorry I keep going back to that. It's just so bizarre. But anyway, and now these former Noah priests who are now known Ammon. Yeah, they're the Ammonians. I don't know, but they're Ammulites. I don't know, but they're now teaching everyone. They're just going around teaching. I don't know what they're teaching. Anyway, for the Lamanites had taken possession of all these lands. Therefore, the king of the Lamanites had appointed kings over all these lands. I don't know if they're kings. I don't think he made Ammon and his people kings. I think he just made them teachers, but all right. And now the name of the king of the Lamanites was Laman, being called after the name of his father. And therefore he was called King Laman, and he was king over a numerous people. All right, once again, creative with their naming. They just keep naming the king Laman. Makes it easy to remember. And he appointed teachers of the brethren of Ammon in every land which was possessed by his people. And thus the language of Nephi began to be taught among the people of the Lamanites. So the Lamanites, even though they absolutely despise all things Nephite, have decided they want to embrace Nephite culture, or at least their language. I don't know why, but all right. And they were people friendly one with another. Nevertheless, they knew not God. Neither did the brethren of Ammon teach them anything concerning the Lord their God, neither the law of Moses, nor did they teach them the words of Abinadi. That's great. So it's basically saying they didn't really need God to be good people. That's what it sounds like, because they were friendly with one another. So, yeah, it sounds like things were better off when they weren't talking about God, because they're living in peace right now. All right, but they taught them that they should keep their record, and that they might write one to another. Keep their record, they might write one, like write each other letters, I guess. That's, all right. And thus the Lamanites began to increase in riches, and began to trade one with another, and wax great, and began to be a cunning and a wise people, as to the wisdom of the world. Yea, drink, a very cunning people, delighting in all manner of wickedness and plunder, except it were among their own brethren. Okay, so as long as it's a fellow Lamanite, they're okay. But if they meet someone that's not a Lamanite, they're just wicked, and they plunder. All right, so they seem to be not very kind to outsiders. And now it came to pass, drink, that Ammon began to exercise authority over Alma and his brethren, and began to persecute him, and cause that his children should persecute their children. Well, you just keep making this persecution run down in the family. For Ammon knew Alma, that he had been one of the king's priests, and that it was he that believed the words of Abinadi, and was driven out before the king, and therefore he was wroth with him. For he was subject to King Laman, yet he exercised authority over them, and he put tasks upon them, and put taskmasters over them. All right, so this Ammon guy used to be, friends with Alma, because they were both King Noah priests, but because Alma turned away, Ammon is basically enslaving him and his cult. Okay, and it came to pass, drink, that so great were their afflictions that they began to cry mightily to God. I wonder if God will be slow to hear their cry. All right, and Ammon commanded them that they should stop their cries, and he put guards over them to watch them, that whosoever should be found calling upon God should be put to death. Wow. So praying is now a capital offense. Whew, rough kingdom. And Alma and his people did not raise their voices to the Lord their God, but did pour out their hearts to him, and he did know that the thoughts of their hearts. Ah, so there you go. Screaming into the sky. That's not helpful. All I have to do is think it. And God can hear your thoughts. Good luck, Ammon, trying to stop people's thoughts. And it came to pass, drink, that the voice of the Lord came to them in their affliction, saying, Lift up your heads, and be of good comfort, for I know of the covenant which ye have made unto me, and I will covenant with my people, and deliver them out of bondage. All right, so God came down somehow and told all these people, Hey, I know life sucks. I get it. He's like, yeah, you're slaves. So just lift your head up, because I'm eventually going to do something about it. So, yeah, I'm going to get around to it, promise. Great God. And I will also ease the burdens which are upon your shoulders, that even you cannot feel them upon your backs, even while you are in bondage. And this will I do, that ye may stand as witnesses for me hereafter, and that ye may know of a surety that I, the Lord God, do visit my people in their afflictions. So he's not going to, deliver them for their afflictions. He's just going to kind of give them some dull their pain senses or something, so it won't suck as bad to be slaves. That's God's answer. This omnipotent God can do anything. Right? Can you please help us? We're enslaved. We've been enslaved, and God's like, well, I'm not going to help you out with the slave thing, but I'll make it suck less. Is that? There you go. Proof. I am the Lord thy God. All right. Now it came to pass, drink, that the burdens which were laid upon Alma and his brethren were made light. God kept his word. Yea, drink. The Lord did strengthen them, that they could bear up their burdens with ease, and they did submit cheerfully and with patience to all the will of the Lord. All right. The slavery's great. Woohoo! And it came to pass, drink, that so great was their faith and their patience, that the voice of the Lord came unto them again, saying, Be of good comfort, for on the morrow I will deliver you out of bondage. Well, why don't you just start there, God? It would have saved some time. But all right. And he said unto Alma, Thou shalt go before this people, and I will go with thee, and deliver this people out of bondage. You just said that, God. All right. Now it came to pass, drink, that Alma and his people in the night time gathered their flocks together, and also of their grain, yea, drink, even of the night time they were gathering their flocks together. And in the morning the Lord caused a deep sleep to come upon the Lamanites, yea, drink, and all their taskmasters were in a profound sleep. They are out. And Alma and his people departed into, guess what, everybody? Where'd they go? The wilderness. The dreaded wilderness. And when they had traveled all day, they pitched their tents in a valley. And they called the valley Alma, because they have no creativity. No, it's because he led their way in the wilderness. Yea, drink. And in the valley of Alma they poured out their thanks to God, because he had been merciful unto them, and eased their burdens, and had delivered them out of bondage. Again, I don't know if he delivered them out of bondage. They just left. It doesn't seem like they were delivered. They just kind of packed up their stuff and walked out. All right. For they were in bondage, and none could deliver them except it were the Lord their God. Right. Or your own 2 feet, which seemed to work just fine. And they gave thanks to God, yea, drink. All their men and their women and all their children that could speak lifted their voices in praises of their God. And now the Lord said unto Alma, Haste thee, and get thou and this people out of this land, for the Lamanites have awakened and do pursue thee. Therefore get thee out of this land, and I will stop the Lamanites in this valley, and they come no further in pursuit of this people. All right, so they went all the trouble of naming the valley Alma, and now they have to leave it. That's a bummer. And it came to pass, drink, that they departed out of the valley, and took their journeys into the wilderness. And after they had been in the wilderness 12 days, they arrived in the land of Zarahemla, and King Mosiah did also receive them with joy. Oh, things are looking up. Okay, Mosiah continues. We have chapter 25 now, the never-ending book of Mosiah. So I guess we're going to keep going. Chapter 25 it is. And now King Mosiah caused that all the people should be gathered together. Okay, so we're back in Zarahemla, and man, everybody's there now. So the Alma Cult is there. They're hanging with King Mosiah, and some other people escaped from the Lamanites. I think it was all the Nephites, right? All of them, I think. They under Limhi, King Limhi, yeah, and Ammon's back home. So I think like everybody that's not a Lamanite now lives with the Zarahemla under the rule of King Mosiah. That is what I think is true, if I'm following along with the story. All right, and now there were not so many of the children of Nephi, or so many of those who were descendants of Nephi, as there were the people of Zarahemla, who were descendants of Mulek, and those who came with him into the wilderness. Okay, so it sounds like there's more Zarahemla than there are Nephites. Okay, and there were not so many of the people of Nephi and the people of Zarahemla as there were of the Lamanites. Yea, drink, they were not half as numerous. All right, so apparently the Nephites are by far the smallest of the populations. The Nephites are smaller than Zarahemla, and the Nephites and Zarahemla combined are still not even half of what the Lamanites are. They have cause for worry. And now all the people of Nephi were assembled together, and also all the people of Zarahemla, and they were gathered together in 2 bodies. Are they not getting along? They've kind of segregated themselves, it seems. That doesn't bode well. And it came to pass, drink, that Mosiah did read and cause to be read the records of Zeniff to his people. Yea, drink, he read the records of the people of Zeniff from the time they left the land of Zarahemla until they returned again. So all this time they've been keeping records. Forgot about Zeniff. What happened to Zeniff? I don't even remember. He must have died, but I thought like Ammon took over for him. I don't remember when that happened. Oh well, maybe. It had to have happened. I just don't recall right now. And he also read the accounts of Alma and his brethren, and all their afflictions, from the time they left the land of Zarahemla until the time they returned again. And now, when Mosiah had made an end of reading the records, his people who tarried in the land were struck with wonder and amazement. Actually, you know what? No, I'm wrong. I'm sorry. Zeniff was the one that originally left the Zarahemlas to go find the Nephite land, and then he restarted that civilization. It was Ammon who later came to find him, much later. And when he got there, he was like, "What's this? You're under the rule of the Lamanites? That's no good. Let's deal with that." They're like, "What do we do? We're going to take them out?" It's like, "No, let's escape." So anyway, okay, that's right. Sorry about that. I forgot who Zeniff was. Okay, for they knew not what to think. When they beheld those that had been delivered out of bondage, they were filled with exceedingly great joy. And again, when they thought of their brethren who had been slain by the Lamanites, they were filled with sorrow, and even shed many tears of sorrow. And again, when they thought of the immediate goodness of God, and his power in delivering Alma and his brethren out of the hand of the Lamanites, and out of bondage, that did raise their voices and give thanks to God. And I'll tell you, you know what God did? I finally figured out. He actually made these people with legs and feet. Yeah, so they used them. Good for you, God. These you're so powerful because these people were able to walk away. All right, and again, when they thought upon the Lamanites, who were their brethren, of their sinful and polluted state, they were filled with pain and anguish for the welfare of their souls. Oh, these good people. They're not worried about Lamanites coming to kill them. They're just worried that they're going to go to hell. That's all. Oh, what good cousins. And it came to pass, drink, that those who were the children of Ammon and his brethren, who had taken to wife the daughters of the Lamanites, were displeased with the conduct of their fathers. and they would no longer be called by the name of their fathers. Therefore they took upon themselves the name of Nephi. They might be called the children of Nephi, and be numbered among those who were called Nephites. So Amulon was he was the leader of the evil priests of King Noah, stole a bunch of women from the Lamanites, which apparently they're into because he made them like teachers, but now their kids they don't want to be part of the Lamanites, they want to be part of the Nephites. But I have bad news for you guys. Yeah, we've learned that God kind of punishes you. Yeah, for the afflictions of your father, grandfather, and great-grandfather. So you're like only one. You have to have like your grandkids are still cursed, I'm afraid, because you sided with the enemy. So I'm glad you changed your name to Nephi. Good. It's a step in the right direction. But if God's going to keep His word about cursing generations, there's really nothing you can do. Sorry. All right. And now all the people of Zarahemla were numbered with the Nephites, and this because the kingdom had been conferred upon none but those who were descendants of Nephi. Wow. It sounds like the Zarahemla are ruled by the Nephites, and they don't have any say in the matter, I think, because it says that the kingdom had been deferred. Yeah, that's what it says. Now it came to pass, Drake, that when Mosiah had made an end to speaking and reading to his people, he desired that Alma should also speak to the people. And Alma did speak unto them. When they were assembled together in large bodies, he went from one body to another, preaching unto the people repentance and faith on the Lord. So it sounds like we got Mosiah is still king, but Alma is some type of high priest now. And he did exhort the people of Limhi and his brethren and all those that had been delivered out of bondage, that they should remember that it was the Lord that did deliver them. Yes, not your legs, it was the Lord. And it came to pass, Drake, that after Alma had taught the people many things, and had made an end of speaking to them, that King Limhi was desirous that he might be baptized. King Limhi never got baptized? And all his people were desirous that they might be baptized also. Oh, that's right. They didn't have a guy. Yeah, they were like, let's get baptized. And they're like, oh, wait, God didn't come down and bless anyone to baptize us, so we're screwed. So now they're finally going to get baptized. All right. Therefore, Alma did go forth into the water. Oh, yeah, Alma is our resident baptizer. That's the word, baptizer. I think Alma's the only person on earth at this point that's permitted to do a baptism. The only one I've heard, anyway. All right. Alma did go forth in the water and did baptize them. Yea, drink. He did baptize them after the manner he did his brethren in the waters of Mormon. Yea, drink again. And as many as he did baptize did belong to the church of God. And this because of their belief in the words of Alma. So Alma's cult spreading. He's now infected the people of Zarahemla and all of the Nephites with it. And suddenly this cult has really taken hold. And it came to pass, drink, that King Mosiah granted unto Alma that he might establish churches throughout all the land of Zarahemla, and gave him power to ordain priests and teachers over every church. Yep, this cult it has reached critical mass, and it is spreading like wildfire. Now this was done because there were so many people, and they could not all be governed by one teacher, neither could they all hear the word of God in one assembly. Okay, that seemed obvious, but okay. Therefore, they did assemble themselves together in different bodies, being called churches. Oh, what a novel idea. Every church having their priests and their teachers, and every priest teaching the word according as it was delivered to him by the mouth of Alma. Again, you can't have original thought if it's like, I was ordained a preacher. Okay, so I get to make up some sermons and say, no. You just say exactly what Alma says. That's it. Nothing else is approved. And thus, notwithstanding there being many churches that were all one church, yea, drink, even the church of God, for there was nothing preached in all the church except with repentance and faith in God. Sounds boring. All they ever do is teach about repentance and faith. Blech. And now there were 7 churches in the land of Zarahemla, and it came to pass, drink, that whoever were desirous to take upon them the name of Christ or of God, they did join the churches of God. And there you go. Remember, we're back to naming people Christ. But now it sounds like you have an option. You can either be named Christ or God. Yeah. Take upon them the name of Christ. Yeah. Although people wrote in and said that was funny, but I hope you know that's not what it meant. It meant like to become a Christian. It didn't say that. Sorry. It said they took the name of Christ. So we're going with changing your name. Yeah. It's funnier anyway. And they were called the people of God. And the Lord did pour out his Spirit upon them. I don't know why that always disturbs me. He poured out his Spirit. Yuck. And they were blessed and prospered in the land. No, in chapter 25. And now I turn the page, and there's Mosiah's still going, chapter 26. Well, it doesn't sound like we're going to finish Mosiah today, so I think we're going to close up this episode. So just want to say thanks to everybody, and I'm going to I'm still excited about doing this project. Every page is more fun. So thanks to all the patrons once again for helping to support the show. Thanks to everybody that's done everything. I've already said all this, but, keep being awesome. Keep dropping your 5-star reviews on iTunes and Stitcher. Make sure you check out the website. It's mybookofmormonpodcast.com, where you can find links to just about everything I talk about on the show. How to rate the show, how to email me, how to blah, blah. Taylor Scholarship. Haven't talked about that in a while. Actually, I need to check with John Larson and see what that's up to. All right, before next episode, I'll get you an update on that. And, so thanks for everything, and feel free to reach out to me anytime with questions or comments, and hope to hear from you. And otherwise, we'll talk to you next time. Goodbye.
This song is licensed for use within this podcast. All song and copyright information can be found at www.mybookofmormonpodcast.com.